Hi everybody, this is Ryan. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go through some of the haunted ridge material that I got when I visited there near Cadet, Missouri on the 25th of October here of this year. And apologize, I'm going to have a little bit of a wind here. I got the grain elevator next door, and then also a combine finishing up the beans next door. So, but hopefully those noises won't come through too much. You might also see a bunch of the soybean dust flying through the viewfinder every so often, coming from both the cleaner and dryer at the elevator and then the combine blowing in the wind. But the next couple days weren't going to be much better, and the wind wasn't going to die later this afternoon, so I decided to do it now. I'm going to kind of start with some of the smaller materials I picked up, and we'll see how well some of the druzy and before I get started too far and I don't forget, I just want to thank the owners of the Haunted Ridge dig site. They seem to be very wonderful people and very fair in their pricing and such, and especially a shout out to, remember the name Ron. He was one of the other helpers out there that helped us get to a second site that was a little bit easier to access. Me with my arthritic ankles and back issues, and then also Cheryl. I met there with the Cheryl from the Soul Adventurist here on YouTube, and then also Michelle, who goes by Lesby Rockin' on YouTube here. So it was kind of fun to meet up with them and find some of this material. I really wasn't going to bring back a whole lot of the druzy and the points and whatever, but I did end up with quite a bit of it as well. I came home with one 5-gallon bucket and a couple extra rocks that they just kind of estimated another charge on for me, which wasn't that bad at all. So, you've seen this one probably a little bit more. You'll see the others. I'll try to get through these fairly quickly, especially kind of more of the smaller nondescript ones. I was kind of mainly going for some of the pieces that had the lace in it and the agate for both the contour polishing and then also being able to cut up in slabs. But this is kind of a nice druzy coated one, and all of these are all I've done was wash and brush off the ones that were needed. I haven't done any soaks in the iron out or muriatic acid on these yet. So okay, it's probably a longer intro than I was planning on, but we'll get further started now. I grabbed a couple of these that are kind of both, as I call them, sediment coated, and this is kind of more of a harder material that won't just brush or walk off. And I grabbed a couple of them just to they're a little different, in kind of a depiction of what you find there. Then on a couple of the pieces, I may actually try to use like an air scribe type of thing to see just how easily, you know, some of that sediment layer, that harder sediment layer, will come off. But if that doesn't work, you know, there's still kind of this one doesn't have it as much, but you can still kind of see the agate kind of texture that you might be able to find if I just end up slabbing some of these. Kind of same on this one here. And I will say that second area that Ron took us to, the rocks cleaned up a lot easier. The first location was kind of in a damper dig hole, so it took quite a bit more to get the kind of the orange clay-like mud off of it. But you can kind of see here the different lace areas, and I picked up some of these, so I might be able to do contour polishes on a few of these surfaces, and then just kind of leave the rest of the rock as is to kind of show the differences. That the transformation can take. This one here kind of is a little bit of darker, but you can kind of see more of the agate on kind of below the quartz. So it might be, you know, fun to try to just, you know, maybe even isolate some of that quartz, and similar to like what Mom might do on, not this one, but on some of the others I might show you, is, you know, just do a semi-dome on a couple of these pieces to see, just kind of have that smooth over bumpy texture to the quartz. Otherwise it'll be a nice just you know, slabbing some of that up, and maybe just making cabs out of that agate. Kind of one of more of the nicer points color-wise that I got. There's kind of going to be a few places on here that were digged up on there, but and I think he said a lot of these on the top that this mineral on here is barite, if I remember right. Otherwise, most of the others just quartz, kind of with that's stained by iron to make the smoky quartz. So I may end up soaking this a little bit in the iron out to get some of the color out, but hopefully not so much that it affects the smoky quartz. I think that would be kind of cool to then maybe just do a polish on one of the two sides here, or both, and just have both the smoky quartz and then the contour polish. This one I got mainly just for cutting. You can kind of see the different shapes that are in here. It might be kind of interesting to isolate some of the non-agate material, or the other material over here as well, just, with the different shapes and everything, to see how well they cap up. That's what I found. You can kind of see as I'm looking through the viewfinder, and I can still see some sparkles, even though it's a little bit difficult for me to see my screen because of the sun that's on it. But it's kind of there's a lot of these little ribbony type of agates. So it'll be another one where it might be able to, after some iron out, be able to have some really cool crystals on it, and then maybe polish up the sides. But you can kind of see how the sides, there's even a lot of sparkle in here. So maybe just maybe even do an edge, and then just leave the rest native or raw, whatever you want to call it. A lot of these kind of bigger ones, I didn't have water out there that I was spraying with them, so just kind of had to look at a base, what they look like in the ground. But this one has some nice agate in it. Has some other crystals that are in the sediment, but I think this one will just be more for slabbing and cabbing. Kind of the pieces like this, not having any experience with this, I don't know how much the iron out is going to take these colors, or because there's some really darker colors over here, so I just assume that's heavier iron. But another one that if it cleans up well and nice, even if there's not a whole lot of crystals, that you can see that just kind of doing a face polish on some of these, it may look pretty nice. I do pick up a kind of at least a couple of the druzy botted pieces. If you can see them sparkling in there. So again, maybe just do kind of a polish around the outside, but I kind of like that shape, and that it would actually sit on its own. At least it looks like it. Feels like it should just sit. So these have some nice dark crystals on it, but once again it has, this hard sediment layer on it that we'll have to see how well any of that comes off, if at all, when I'm cleaning them up. But it will have some nice agate on it if it does not, or if I can't clean the top off of it. Another nice one with the root beer quartz, and I'll have to get the either the steam cleaner, and then also on top of that maybe put in or get out a pick and see how much of the stuff in between the crystals I can get cleaned off. But it was another one that also had some pretty cool agatized banding on it, especially on the two long faces. This one I got more for the dark color. Some of them, and I don't know what the cause of some of the dark is, but it also had some pretty good banding on it. I might be able to kind of slab some of that off and see what we can do, or what the cabs look like. Both going lengthwise this way and maybe across this way. Nothing really on the outsides. So I'm going to assume that this was maybe a geode or something like it in the way that it was formed. A little druzy on top here too, but another one that I thought might be good for some patterns when I cut them open. Kind of a really nice piece of root beer as well. This one cleaned up pretty well, so I won't have as much to try to go in and manually clean out. A little bit of nice banding on the one edge, and kind of on the bottom too. It was really interesting. I think you should be able to see that, just how intricate some of that banding really was. Let me see if I can zoom a little bit on that, so I don't have to get so close and it be out of focus. Joked with a couple of my friends that they, for not being a crystal guy, I came home with quite a few that had crystals on them. Another kind of piece more for cutting, with all of the kind of the hard layers on the top that probably won't clean up too well. Some of these here that were from the first location, I left in the bucket because I really didn't know what they were going to turn out looking like, and because I could only really see that I knew there was maybe a little bit of crystal on the top there, but it wasn't until I got the scrub brush and everything at home to see that there really wasn't anything outside of the agate on this one. But we'll try to make use out of it the best we can. And picked up a couple of these just more because of how cool they looked for a almost like a specimen type piece. And I don't know if that's what they're calling, like the oolitic shapes, or just, you know, little bubbles that are that are on these. I don't even know, just I kind of like the color as it is here. I may not even try to put this into the iron out, and maybe just even leave it this one as is. Maybe do just a little cleanup on the shape for the color, but if I did that, then I might have to clean the whole thing. Kind of one of the bigger pieces that I have in the bucket here. There's a lot of different agate on this one. There's a lot on the outsides here, but I don't know what it'd look like cleaned up, so if nothing else, that'll just be some more slabbing material. Kind of the same with this. It looks like the iron out would take a lot of the kind of that deep orange out, but then you'd really be left with kind of those non-distinct points. But I may be surprised, since I'm really a noob at this material on the iron out. I've only done it on kind of a couple other pieces of geodes. I don't know how well those crystals will clean up in the iron out, but if not, it still has some nice agate banding. That should really sparkle after getting some iron out treatment. It was nice being able to find some of the more clear type crystals in the smaller ones. Another one here we may try to do a little soak with, but if nothing else, it is another one here that has the potential to have some more decent banding along the insides. Should have moved my shown pile, or started that off the camera here, because they may start to creep in the bottom of the screen here, which is okay. Coming another one from the first location that I could tell that there was some root beer quartz on there, but I didn't know much else that was going on it. Kind of the same with this one here. Since I wasn't finding a whole lot to begin with in that first location that I had in my bucket, threw a few of these small pieces in there, just in case I didn't find much else out. I think when I left the first location, my bucket was only about a quarter to maybe a third full until we moved to that second location. And then, like I said, I had filled the other 2/3 plus little bit heaped up on the top, plus 2 extra rocks at the second location. It's kind of a really nice one here. I don't know for sure what I'll do with this one here, whether to keep some of those colors as is, or if this will end up having to be soaked. I haven't looked at other magnification to see if some of those points were damaged, or if it's just kind of the way that they are and the way that the sun is reflecting off of them. Of another smaller one from the first location that I grabbed. Might have a few points on there, but we'll see how well that cleans up, or if I just end up polishing kind of the whole thing. If I had the tumblers running, it might be kind of fun just to throw something like that in and see how well it turns out. See what the top looks like after, you know, it's run through the tumbler. Have a piece kind of of this darker colored lace. Has a few points on it. This one will probably definitely go in the iron out. Just see what some of these bubbles look like after kind of that hard iron coating is worn off. Kind of hoping to do this in one shot and just upload it, and looks like I'm up to about 27 minutes here so far. Luckily, just a few in the bottom of the one bucket, and then the other bucket has the larger ones in it here, so hopefully not too much longer. Another one that I got probably more for the cutting than anything else. Small piece that I picked up at the beginning of the first site, but all I could probably see on it was this with all of the orange mud on it. So nothing too spectacular on it. So probably could have made the purge out in the field, but it was probably stuck in the bottom of the one bucket. Same probably with this one here. It probably could have stayed out in the field, but might still be interesting to try to just slab off some of the quartz and just maybe do a kind of the quartz points only cab or something, just to see how well it turns out. It's kind of cool how the some of those larger crystals, you know, the way they're packed in there, the way they're just broken off really a glint in the sun too. I'm hoping the my headset just shut off on me for some reason, so I turned it back on. Hopefully the sound from the first 30 minutes will is still good. Another piece here. I don't remember, this may have been the piece that the owner who drove me out to begin with may have been the one that picked this off the ground and cleaned it up a little bit to show me what I was looking for. And I think that's where he was talking about this being the barite on the pieces. He did say the barite itself wouldn't come off in the acid, so this be another fun one to, or not the acid, but the iron out. So it might be nice to get that going and see how this turns out as well. Another bigger one here. I'll just kind of do the one edge on here that I more picked up for cutting with the lace. A few points on there that might that could clean up with the iron out acid, but maybe not. Another good candidate piece for the iron out. Kind of has some bonus spots kind of hiding in the middle of all of the others, the points. I'm going to I think that all it did was kind of show you just when it's wet, just what the iron staining looks like. But that could be a really cool looking piece on there too. It's flat enough that it could be even a candidate for using either the wet sander or something flat on the flat lap to try to flatten the bottom side and see how well that polishes. It'll just have the kind of the ordinary looking hollows in the back here. This is kind of looking here, I might not be able to get in close enough, but kind of over up here, and kind of, I don't know for sure what I'm seeing in there. It just could be a gray. And the agate in there with the iron over it, that's just making it look like a kind of a weird color. Another one of these kind of white small crystal pieces. This should clean up fairly well. grabbed this one here because it has a pretty nice set of points, even though it's kind of small. I think this is the one where I was thinking that just flattening out the bottom side and maybe trying to do something, leaving a little bit of a contour, maybe just doming out the very tips of the points, but that might just destroy the look, and it might just be nice to have a kind of a small piece of it. But we'll see on that one. Really kind of see in some of these how well the can sparkle even on the ends in the lace. Then you'll have the I think that'll clean up as well, and then just maybe a outside polish all the way around might make that look like a really nice piece. I'll have a little bit of a curve on there, but gotten a little better at using the outside edges of the cabbing wheels, so we don't have to completely flatten the face. Another piece from that first location that remained in the bucket after the purge. Might be able to just cut off a couple small little slabs off of that and do something with it. That I don't know. Some of these just may end up being landscape rocks. Kind of another piece of a little bubble druzy. Kind of a rock here for mostly just cutting. A little bit of banding. Kind of a little bit of different colors. It's more of the picked up the more the root beer, some more probably the iron type stainings. That's further down in the bands. I don't know how much of the color is going to look different if it ends up being soaked or even just worked on the cabbing wheels. A couple points on the top, but mainly just again something that I might be able to slab in the cab. See, you can kind of see some of the tops of the bubbles were probably wore out from being banged against others, as either when they were forming or when they were moved. I don't know how much of that stuff will come off when soaked. So it's going to be kind of a little bit of a fun experiment to see what some of this turns out like. Otherwise, it can just be a little bit more cutting material. Kind of a nice, another nice, just a little piece of the root beer crystals. Kind of have a small specimen after it's cleaned up. That was just kind of a left. Oh, I think what this was when I was washing one of the other bigger ones, there's a couple of them where the little chunks came out of the mud, and so I think that was one of the pieces there. Another little small specimen type of the points. It's kind of nice to have. It's probably a little bit of an accidental since I wasn't thinking of it at the time, but nice to have some of the bigger pieces, and then also some of the smaller pieces of some of these different types. Okay, so zoom you out here and kind of show you some of the bigger pieces that I brought. Kind of a nice bigger piece of the root beer druzy. You know, some of the points on there may be a little bit damaged. Kind of these go right down to the edges, except for these pieces over here, or except for those edges over here. Kind of a nice bigger piece that I should be able to get some good cutting pieces off of. I once again don't know how much some of this will actually clean up on the top, and then what it'll look like. Nice thin one here, even though it's a little bowed on the bottom. Thinking that, you know, just something like this cleans up fairly well, and the crystals look really good. I think that'd be kind of a fun one just to have a little bit for a I don't know, display type thing, even if you aren't able to polish up the pieces over here, or the parts over here, and it kind of does remind me of a little bit of a piece of pizza. Little druzy piece of pizza pie. This one, when I found it, you could really tell that there was just kind of almost a solid, larger piece of the root beer crystals that had kind of grown together, at least for kind of a larger piece of it. So looking forward to maybe on this one taking a couple slabs out of the middle and just seeing how well they or what kind of different look that those quartz pieces will have as a slab. Let's see. A little piece of the kind of the Barite on here. Probably could have cleaned up So I had a little bit more with the hose end sprayer, but after they got wet, it was kind of hard to see how much dirt was left on some of them, but mainly wanted to get them clean enough so we could actually display it. I got this piece here, turned out pretty good. And Les, if you made it this far into the video, if you remember that one that I told you that kind of had the that feel of a thunder egg or the rhyolite, that was just really hard mud on this, and this is what was on the inside of that ball. And because it just looked, when I picked it up, it looked like kind of a thunder egg nodule, the way it was shaped, or a geo nodule, whichever one you want to call it. But let's see, this might clean up pretty good here, and we'll have to see what the rest of it looks like and what to do with it. Another one of these pieces of just more for the unusual textures and the little bubbles. I don't know what material this lighter color is in the metal. And just from looking at it, it almost kind of has that opal-y look to it. When I first looked at it, it kind of looked like chalk, but it's definitely harder than chalk. But it's kind of a cool layer. This material that it's kind of more, like I said, bubbly. This might be the last of the small chunks. There's a little bit of crystal point out here. Pretty interesting to see what's underneath this. And I'll have some lace on it because I can see it on the top. You can see the sides on it are pretty much iron filled. And the last two extras that I paid for were kind of this piece of lace looking type of agate. Might have a few fractures and everything in the middle. Be interesting to see if I can get this cut, how much some of the areas like this, how well it continues in, and what I can do with it. And the last chunk is this really big piece of lacy type material. You can see kind of some cracks through the outsides here, and I may have to take that into as an advantage, because I don't have a saw that'll be able to cut that, so you may have to go under a chisel and a sledgehammer to take some of these pieces off before I can get it small enough to work. And then we'll see what it looks like. Or this may just end up kind of being a keepsake rock bed rock. Well, that was it. It was kind of a cool trip to go down there I went down on a Friday, stayed overnight, and then I met up with the gals on Saturday. Seen a couple other YouTubers and Instagram guys there that I was just able to say hi to. But otherwise, it was, like I said, myself, Les, and Soul working together most of the day. It was really nice to see them. I kind of wished Lady Diane would have been able to make it, but she wasn't able to. Then we were going to try to meet up with her for dinner after the dig, but that didn't work out in the end either. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Looks like one of my longer videos here that is just going to kind of go straight from the recording to the upload. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.